you mentioned you had a girlfriend, like in your dating life. How has blindness factored into that?
Well, you know, funny thing is like the girlfriend I had in high school was like the last girlfriend I've had since then. So my dating life hasn't really taken off in that manner, unfortunately. No matter how much I try. But I feel it is more difficult as a man with blindness to date because there's so much like expectation that's put onto a man and like the idea of traditional masculinity and how that feels. Like I mean, say what you will. Like maybe I am more of a, or I want to be more of a traditional kind of masculine type man, where like I want to,
Hmm.
protect the woman or whatever, but knowing that I probably can't really fit that role. So like it does kind of affect me sometimes in that way. Whereas like you almost
Yeah.
feel like what with all the other men in the world, what kind of woman would want to pal around with a blind guy? She's got other options.
Yeah, I know the thoughts. I know I made a video about this, this exact topic and that type of frame of mind because I have the same frame of mind and I think you mentioned traditional masculinity. I feel like traditional masculinity kind of goes out the window, with blindness or a disability, unfortunately, and it's hard to wrap your mind around. But
Yeah.
it's like you got to find a new form of it.
It's like, yeah, like it's kind of doing like, okay, well, I can't do the whole traditional macho man thing, but I mean, there's other things I can do. Like I feel like I'm a fairly intellectual guy, so I mean that's part of my
Oh yeah,
masculinity, so to speak. And also, like I
yeah.
feel like I'm fairly empathetic too. Like I'm pretty in touch with my feelings, so there's that.
Yes, you have a lot going for you, man. I think maybe you just haven't met the right person. I mean, it's hard out there for anyone.
Like at least as far as like dating goes, I feel at least it's like kind of my view on it is if there's someone who really does like you as a person that you are, and they're fine with you being you, then I think that's more valuable than trying to fit into any type of traditional box in that way. Like why would I want then think about it too, it's like, well, if if a woman doesn't want to date me because I'm blind, well, that seems like a her problem. Why do I want to date her too? I can go
Yeah,
somewhere else.
yeah. It's a two-way street. And I think you nailed it by saying you just have to be yourself because as much as I want to view myself as like this masculine guy, man, or whatever, you know, I've never been in a fight before, you know, there's a lot, of boxes I don't check, but as a dude, I have this, as someone who I'll admit it, like I have somewhat of like a little bit of an ego that just like clinging on where it's like, I need to be this, I need to be this. And a lot of that stuff is just kind of, we're kind of brainwashed into thinking just from, movies and TV shows and, stuff we hear from people around us. But I think that you can still be masculine without having to fight people or be macho. And I think, it's just finding your form of it, which I think goes back to being yourself, you know,
Yeah.
and that's your form of masculinity is what you bring to the table, and it can look at a lot of different ways. And I think the right person will want and crave your specific brand of masculinity.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of it also comes down to the fact that there is a great benefit to be had from reframing your own perspectives on a lot of these topics and things,
Yeah.
where a lot of it comes from the media and things you may have seen growing up and like things like that. But there's a lot of ways to live your life, and especially for someone who is low vision or blind, you can benefit greatly from just reframing how you view these topics. to where you live your life in the way that best suits you, regardless of what other people may think or feel.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you just have to do you, and then the right people will follow, and the right people will get on board with you, and then the people who aren't meant to be on a part of your life, they won't last, or they won't want to join you, these types of things. And but yeah, man, yeah, I respect the game out there for you. You're out there, in the single world.
Yeah.
Not easy. But yeah, keep your head up, man. I know I don't know. I don't know what to say, but just patience, I guess.